Good morning. Welcome to the Naterealmidwest podcast. I'm your host, Naterealmidwest. It is Friday, and I'm wearing a hat. Every Friday, I'm going to wear a hat. Most hats today are kind of quite interesting. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. I was somewhere yesterday. Yes, a lot of people are asking, where were you? Well, I was at a fraud oversight committee, and that committee is the most committee that people don't understand what's going on. I understand it because I know how to call out Democrats like you can call them out like no two shoes tomorrow, right? Yeah, no, that's not the point. The point is we have a governor who is sitting here and thinking that we could invade the war. Like, let's have a war. But what war were we going to have, ladies and gentlemen? This war is we're fighting a journey of peace and stuff. And I mean, we talk about mostly the ideas that are coming up across our nation, but sadly, our nations don't want to true it, right? They don't want to true the idea that we're having a podcast. They don't want to true the idea of life on a podcast. They're not going to true the idea of something. Well, you know what they're going to untrue the idea for? They're going to true the idea that the Democrats do not have a plan to save Minnesota. Number one, I've heard it so many times at the committee, and guess what they have to bring up? Donald J. Trump. Well, Donald Trump pardoned this one. Donald Trump pardoned this. I mean, that is not relevant for the Minnesota people that want to solve the fraud. We're angry. We're done. It's the new slogan for Minnesota is we're done. We're done. Trademark it. You cannot copyright it. That is December 17th. The new slogan for Minnesota is we are done. I own the copyright, and if you think you're going to steal it from me, we're going to have some problems. Welcome in, guys. Happy Friday. God bless America. I know a lot of people want to come back up, but right now we're having a podcast on today. But people say I scale it. So we're done. It means we're done with the fraud. Do you know... I have to say something really quickly about this, okay? Listen really clearly. And I hate saying this about Democrats, but I'm going to say it about Democrats. Democrats have nothing to say. Nothing to say, right? Except that they want to blame Donald J. Trump. I saw it at the Fraud Oversight Committee, and they're like, well, I know you guys don't like bringing up the federal government. First of all, let's talk about the state. I will put you in your place. Let's talk about the state. Stop worrying about what the federal government is and what federal Trump is doing. Worry about the state. Stop bringing it up. The reason why they do not want to share the information with the whistleblowers is because you never asked. You don't care. You're part of the scoop. You're part of the administration that is, behind this fraud. Don't bring to me that you care. You don't. You sit here, and by the way, I'm going to make something really clear for you Democrats that are watching. When I was saying thank you for your hard work, I did not mean you Democrats. I meant the Republicans. The Republicans have been doing the hard work. We have now been able to reach out to them while you sit here and blame Donald J. Trump until you're willing to work with the Republicans, work with them, willing to work with them and stuff. No, that is not going to work. You're going to have to work with the Republicans. You're going to have to work there, all right? Before I even say thank you to you. When I meant thank you for your hard work, I'm not talking about the Democrats. Until I see the Democrats shape up, and do their work, then you might get a thank you from me. But you ain't getting a thank you. You know very well I wasn't thanking you guys for your hard work because you ain't doing hard work. Until I see you have an effort of doing your hard work, until I see that you are willing to work with the Republicans, hold Governor Walz responsible for letting this fraud happen, then maybe I will thank you. But I'm going to make something really clear. I never thanked you, Democrats, at the speech. I couldn't say thank you to the Republicans when I meant, I'm not seeing anybody holding your governor accountable. Nope, I was not talking about the Republicans. I was talking about the Democrats. But I can't say that because I have to be non-neutral when I'm speaking in front of the Congress. So the idea of people understanding that, like, well, you thanked everybody there. No, I did not thank everybody. You're going to see my videos, and if you guys were smart enough and caught up to what I was saying, I cannot just say, thank you, Democrats, for your hard work. I can't not thank you. Thank you to the Republicans for your hard work. That would not be fair. But yes, now I'm going to leave out the Democrats when I say stuff like that. It's the idea of people don't get with my language. And my grandfather, I love my grandfather. He goes, so you cannot bring up any family name. You understand me when you take these interviews, correct? I love you, Grandpa. I really do. I love you, Grandpa. But yeah, no, it's very interesting. I could tell you that a lot of people appreciate what I'm doing in that committee and seeing the fraud oversight committee, and I love it. I love it. There's no of these people who are going to suffer. I'm not going to let these people suffer, but Democrats have this ideal thing, and what their ideal thing is they only can blame Trump. That is the only thing they can do, is blame Trump. There's nothing. How do we help Minnesotans? How we help the constituents? I know very well the people that are representing the Democratic Party. I know very well they're not caring. No, their constituents are not calling them. What their situations are repairing to is their situations repairing to how to fight ICE, how to do that stuff, how to do the complainings of ICE. That's the problem, okay? That is the problem that we have in the state of Minnesota. That is the problem that is going on. That it is the blame ICE. How can we make our cities safer? How are we going to make our cities safer? But everybody is simping for pedophiles, okay? You don't know who's been arrested, but you're going to listen to the mainstream media, what is going to be arrested, what the mainstream media is saying. You don't look at the warrants. You're not going to research anything. You're not. So stop thinking that there's these peaceful protests. Stop thinking that there's no riots when you are encouraging the violence. You have a governor right now that is sitting on live television telling people to go fight. You heard Jacob Fry saying that we're not going to help ICE. Do you guys all want them to be federally arrested? Is that what you guys want? Do you want Governor Walz in handcuffs? Because I really could give it to you right now. I mean, you guys think that Nate's going to be nice at those committees? Oh, no, I'm not going to be nice no more. The truth is going to hurt. The truth is going to hurt. It is going to hurt so bad that you'll be crying to your mama. Yes, you Democrats will be crying. Because I am going to lay down the truth so bad on you. So bad that you are not going to like it. I'm going to lay the truth on you. I'm going to do it. Because I'm sick. I'm so sick and tired of hearing the excuses that you have to bring up the federal government. We're in Minnesota, not Washington, D.C. 8:15 a.m. I'll be at the Capitol. Earlier than that, we're leaving at 7:30. Stuff starts at 8:15. If you guys have just joined in, welcome into the podcast. Please tap that screen, send it out. We're live all over social media. I can't take I can't even take a day of not getting angry and yelling at people on a podcast. Like, that's just my deal and stuff. I will put you in your place. I will tell you when you are starch up crazy. And I will tell you when you are being stupid and you're being an idiot. You are so fixated. You're fixated. And I hate to say this, you do have Trump derangement syndrome. I'm sorry, I cannot diagnose with you, but you are so fixated on Donald J. Trump. How about you start being fixated on Minnesota? Every time I hear something, oh, these Democrats think that I could be nice. That speech that I gave was just a preview of more speeches coming down the road. That speech I gave was just a preview of the truth that I'm going to spill on that committee. That speech that I made was a preview of the truth that is going to come out of my mouth because of the Department of Human Services. That preview that I made, that preview speech, that is not the full of the darkness that is going to come into the light. That is not the full of the darkness that is going to come on the light when you guys are simping for these illegal aliens, have no clue who they are, and now you have coming out of your mouth as Medicaid. The Minnesota Medicaid fraud thing. That is not important. The Washington, or what Trump is pardoning, that is not important right now. What is important is how to fix Minnesota. But you sit here, and this is the problem that I have with Minnesota Democrats. You sit here. You can't solve anything. I'm sorry, you can't. Somebody has to break it to you. Somebody has to break it to you. They ain't going to break it to you. I am. All right? You have to listen very carefully. Stop fixated on Trump and start helping the Republicans to tackle this fraud. But what the problem is, you guys are on this committee. There's no way to solve this. You don't want to answer all the questions about the fraud. It is the Republicans doing all the work while you are... No, I'm going to continue and say while you are continuing to bring up Donald J. Trump, bring about the issues about ICE. Nothing's relevant about the fraud in ICE here. It's nothing. ICE is doing their job. We would not have this. Let me not forget your grandparents or your ancestors came here legally, did they not? They came here legally. They did. So why are you simping? Why are you simping for these illegals? Your grandparents came here legally. You know that. They did all the legal stuff. So my question is, why? Your grandparents came in legally, did they not? But no, the problem is you can't submit to the fraud. You can't. There's no fraud in your eyes. The complaints that you want to live, and this is the construction criticism I want to give you. Maybe if you open your freaking eyes and stop being blind what the mainstream media says and maybe do your research like some of your constituents have and stop coming up here, Ms. Emma, representative stuff. I kind of wanted to give you a stern warning for the left, okay? And this is my for construction criticism, and I don't think you guys got criticism before. Every time I come to this freaking committee, the Republicans, I'm giving 100% an A. Democrats need to shape up, You're failing. You're failing. You're failing. You're failing. I hate to say it, you're failing. You are not tackling the fraud. You're not willing to help. You always question the federal government. There's other constitutional people that could be suffering through this. You're not questioning the fraud. And I think what I'm seeing, Madam Chair, is they don't care. Why are they on this committee if they don't care? Why? If you really care about this fraud, then solve it. Solve it. Stop with this idea of Stop with this idea of this freaking horse cow of a thing of fraud. Fraud. You run a system of care. I sat in that committee for almost 2.5 hours. And the presentation that they had was so freaking long that we had no time for questioning. No time for questioning at all. We ended at 12 for the first time in forever. We ended at 12 for the first time forever. We did. We ended at 12. There was no questions. They couldn't get any questions out because we were running out of time. It was a plan, okay? It was a plan for them to do this. I understood the plan. I understood why this people were taking so long of their time, because we had so little for questions. So little for questions. We did not have enough. None of the questions I wanted answered were there. It was so little. It was so young. It was so time. These people are getting smart. They're knowing how to play the Republicans right now. If these commissioners don't know how to play the Republicans, my presentation was going to be so short, so simple, so long, so simple. Their presentation was long. No questions, no nothing. And that is why I did not pick up the plaque of it. The plaque. That's why I did not pick up the plaque. The questions were so freaking long, you guys. I me doing a podcast. Yeah, somebody said about that. No, not for the fraud oversight hearing committee. No, when their presentation was it was on purpose. I knew it was on purpose. We ended so early. None of the questions were getting questioned. It was just excuses. How many excuses do I have to get? This is a question for the Democrats. Are you going to hold Governor Walz accountable? Yes or no? Are you going to hold Governor Walz accountable? That is the question I want for the Democrats to answer. Are you going to hold Governor Walz accountable? Because I want to know. I really do. When are you going to hold Governor Walz accountable? Because it seems like you can hold Walz accountable for everything. I've held some of my Republican leaders accountable for stuff. I've held multiple Republican leaders accountable for something that I did not like that they did. No joke. That's a different story for a different day. I'm not kidding. That's a different story for a different day. Yes, I've held Republican leaders accountable for something that should have not happened, but it did. In the state of Minnesota, and I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Oh, you don't know how angry I am. And that's why I don't go to a lot of Republican meetings, because we're not getting anywhere. If we want to win, we need to win with fraud. But right now, these Democrats have an upper hand of showing what violence is instead of peace. These protesters are outrageous. Safety is number one. This fraud is outrageous. Everything that's going on in the state of Minnesota, and it's not fair. It's not. It really is not fair, you all. But it doesn't matter when it's fair to them. It matters when it's Donald Trump's fault. It's the TDS syndrome. It really is TDS. It really is. It is true. People do have TDS syndrome because people never had a Bush syndrome. Wait a second. I don't get this. Can somebody answer me this? One question. Somebody answer this question. Why the hell that none of you guys blame Bush? None of you guys blamed Obama. None of you guys will blame Clinton. None of you guys blame the other Bush. None of you guys blame Biden. Why on earth is it Trump's fault all of a sudden? Can somebody answer that question? Yes or no? Why is it always Trump's fault? I would like to know. Have you done your research? This man has stopped human trafficking, but you hate him. This man has stopped some horrible things from happening, but you hate him. You can't look at the truth except listen to the mainstream media, listen to the propaganda that they want to feed you. This is why I don't own TV. This is why I research stuff. But you're going to believe every single thing that comes out of their mouth, and it's true. You're going to believe every democratic resources or every article that comes out of their mouth, and because it's true. It's true. You cannot get on your computer and research. The news is your only outlook. The articles are your only outlook. Your media is your only outlook. You will not research. You will not look at stuff. You will not do one single thing except believe what the mainstream media is telling you and feeding you and processing everything that is out there. But one thing that you can do, you have a computer, correct? You have a computer, yes or no? You have something that you can research. But no, you don't. You don't want to research. You don't want to understand what's going on. You don't want to understand the suffering that people are going through. You don't. Because the only thing that you care about is what the mainstream media is saying is sim for the illegals, hate Donald J. Trump. But maybe you should do some research about American history. Maybe you should do some research of what is happening to America. Maybe you should do some research why Trump is in there, and maybe you might not think that he's out bad because some of the politicians that ran before Trump are really bad. There is so much stuff out there that you guys are not even awake to understand. But you sit here and blame one man. You're persecuting one man. Wait a second. Hold on one second. Wasn't there a man that was persecuted? Oh, yeah. I know who that man was. He was the one that took all of our sins away, correct? Yeah. He was persecuted too, and he did nothing wrong. Wait. So we're persecuting somebody? Yeah. But wait a second. But you were okay under the Biden administration when they persecuted pro-lifers, right? You were okay when the Biden administration was giving the jab or you would lose your job. You were okay with that? You were okay when President Biden was forcing the jabs, or you would lose your job? You're okay with that? Do you know how many nurses lost their job because they didn't want to take the jab? But you're complaining about Donald J. Trump, who's being a dictator? Oh! But if I point out one fault of Biden being a dictator, you're not going to believe it because you're okay with it, right? If I point out one fault of Biden saying something ugly, you're not going to believe it, right? Because it's not Trump. What the mainstream media has done to the American people has brainwashed them. Brainwashed them to the point that you guys cannot wake up. You want me to give you the truth about the No Kings protest? What you're really protesting? You're protesting evil. You want the mainstream media to feed you the feeds, to feed you the lies that they are feeding. The research is out there. You have to dig for it. You have to open your eyes. But you don't want to, because you're so blind by what the mainstream media has given you. And that is why I don't have TV. That is why I have Netflix. That is why I have Disney Plus. This is why I have Hulu and watch my Golden Girls. That is why. I don't watch TV. I research. But it's okay. It's okay for the Democratic Party to say stuff, correct? Because the Democratic Party is perfect. The Democratic Party knows everything. They care about everyone. They care about everything. And the Republican Party is just a piece of garbage. They're nothing. They don't care about stuff. Well, I grew up in a Republican family, okay? Yeah, it was tough. It wasn't easy. We had our disagreements. But yeah, now I might have more disagreements with my family because I believe differently than they do as a conservative value. For people saying that Republicans are bad, and it's okay to make fun of somebody who was unalived, we're not making fun of a Democrat that was unalive. We didn't make fun of Ruth Ginsburg, who died, or the lady who was a senator who was unalived. The problem is what I'm seeing with people today. If a conservative member gets unalived, it's funny. It's amazing. Well, what happens if one of your people got unalived? You know what we would be doing? Yeah, we didn't agree with them. We didn't agreed with them on stuff. It was sad. That's what would we be doing. We would be giving our condolences. But the Democratic Party doesn't give condolences to the other side. I've gave my condolences to people that I disagree with. So, the true party of hate, the true party of violence, the true party of corruption, trafficking, is the Democratic Party. I said it. It's the truth. Trump has done so many executive orders to end human trafficking, but you still want to call him a pedophile. Do you know how sickening it is? Nobody blamed Bush on stuff. Nobody blamed Obama. Obama deported more illegals than any other president of the United States. But that doesn't matter, correct? That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what? What is the only thing that matters to you guys? To put Trump on a pedestal? Let's make videos of unaliving Trump, persecuting him, burning him up. We're gonna make videos like that? Wow. Okay. That's your evilness, and you're supporting it. Democrats are supporting that thing. So if you're truly a Democrat, or are you just a Democrat? A demoncrat that has no love for the American people but sits here and wants to blame everything that Donald Trump has done. You didn't come out on not live television and blame Bush. You actually praised Bush. You praised Obama. You praised the other Bush. You praised Reagan. And you hated Kennedy. You guys making me so freaking tired that I have to deal with your crap. Deal with your crap. You are so gone out of your freaking record. You don't even know how tired it is to deal with you people. Every time I see something on social media, I'm like, oh, I want to say something so bad, but no, I don't want to ruin it. It's tiring, people. For once, can you just open your eyes? Can you? For once, open your eyes and see the truth. The truth. See the truth. This is the Naterealmidwest podcast. I'm your host, Nathaniel M. Olson. We'll be back on Monday with another episode. We are now on episode 4, and 5 will be out next Monday. God bless you guys. God bless America. Thank you.